Again, really excited for the AZDS crew to be here, and I'll let them take it away.
Kieran, would you like to kick it off?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Kieran Kane. I'm the COO of AZDS. Some of you may be some familiar names on the phone. Prior to my time at AZDS, I was the Vice President of Marketing for Vail Resorts. And so maybe why that's applicable for the presentation today, we had been long partners with Inntopia there and went through a process to be able to pull onto our website domain all of the front end for all of our vacation packaging and bundling to present it on an on-brand method that really is guest-centric and follows an intuitive journey. And I think that why that's important, what we're going to show you guys today is a little bit of the same thing. How do you actually leverage the power that Inntopia brings to the table, and at the same time, our RevRaise product that we're going to demo for you guys today allows resorts, hotels, anybody that's interested in bundling products together for an entire journey. These ones are going to be specific to ski resorts in particular. A little bit of creating that same functionality that we've been working on for the last year and allowing others to partake in it as well without having to invest in the massive infrastructure. So excited to show you what we got today and see how we can potentially partner with you guys thanks to our new official partnership with Inntopia.
And I'm Elsa Guttery. I'm the Director of Sales with AZDS. I'm going to kick off this demo in a few minutes here, but I think I'll let Derek introduce himself, and then I'll just give you a little bit of backgrounder about our company and the solution. So go ahead, Derek.
My name is Derek Hinterhan. I am the Senior Director of Products here at AZDS. And prior to that, I worked for the Aspen Skiing Company for about 8.5 years. And my role was to manage their Inntopia installation. So all the backend CRS, RMS for our various suppliers and resort, and about 20 e-com channels.
Great. So just a little backgrounder about AZDS. So we are a digital marketing and technology company. We are laser focused on the hospitality industry. And we were founded in 2006, and we're based in Denver, Colorado. Our services include website and app development, digital marketing services, and our industry-leading RevRaise booking engine, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. We specialize in creating full-funnel digital ecosystems for our clients that are ultimately focused on increased conversions, more bookings, and higher revenues. We've got about 500 clients globally in the luxury and lifestyle hospitality space, including world-class hotels, ski and golf resorts, and private aviation clients. Today, we're going to talk about the multi-booking engine that we've been developing as a certified partner of Inttopia's for more than a year, using Aspen Ski Co. as our beta test. So it's really a custom front-end solution for Inttopia's CRS. It streamlines the booking process, and it leads the guests through an intuitive customer journey to book their full vacation in one reservation, which results in increased conversions, higher average order value. And we have this assumptive upselling process, which you'll see when we do the demo. We can also fully brand our front-end design to match each resort's branding. And we keep the guest on your domain throughout the entire booking flow, which means that you can have enhanced tracking via Google Tag Manager, and you can see everything that the guest is doing throughout the entire booking flow. So Derek's going to jump into the demo now. We can see our solution. We'll talk you through it, and if you have any questions at the end, feel free to ask. But I think what we're really trying to hammer home here is it's a very easy, intuitive booking process. We have this assumptive upselling feature, and at the end of the day, you're going to see more bookings, higher average order value, and more conversions. So Derek, I'll let you jump into the demo and we can walk them through it.
Great. Thanks, Elsa. So we'll start with Killington because they have a good array of summer products. Going back to what both Kieran and Elsa referenced, the philosophy here is a customer journey versus a buffet where you hope they find the right things. We can actually customize this UI based on how you as a business want it to look. Logos, backgrounds, colors, layout, all of it is customizable. All of it is fully modern HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, so it looks the same on a phone screen as it does on a widescreen TV or a large computer screen or a laptop screen. All of our code is fully responsive. And we can customize all the different pieces of it. We can also choose different backgrounds for winter and summer, and we can choose when your winter and summer periods start. So in the case of Killington, we set it to start in November, and then it ends at the end of April. So you see that natural transition between the selling periods and going back to summer of this year. Again, we can choose what product categories show up here under I'm looking for, as well as which ones are selected by default. So that goes back to what Elsa just mentioned about the assumptive upsell. You get to choose which of these categories are chosen by default.
And that can be specific to season as well. So, you know, in winter season, if you have certain products that you want to have automatically selected, you can do that, and the same for summer. So really, you know, when they click book now on your website, they go to this calendar step 1, and they can either select or deselect their entire vacation. So it makes them think about their vacation holistically. And then down below the calendar, they can choose, you know, who's in their family, who's coming for this vacation, so that we can custom tailor all of the products and inclusions for their vacation.
Okay, then I'm just going to run a search for July 4th weekend. There was a quick loading image there. You saw the Killington logo. Again, that can also be customized. This is what we call our step 2. Based on the product categories that you or your client selected in step 1, you see those categories across the top. You can move seamlessly between them. You can also see the dates that you selected in the upper left-hand corner below the logo. You can see the number and type of guests that are coming. So I selected 2 adults and 1 kid. If you look at the menu or filter selections up at the top here, it's very much like the Airbnb layout. And therefore it functions just as well on a mobile screen as it does on a full-size screen. We have different filters that can apply to our searches, including property specific. You can focus on specific packages that you have built for your e-com channel. But for the sake of this demo, let's take a look at the Mountain Inn. You'll also notice integrated map functionality. And the map itself is fully dynamic with the left-hand panel that shows all of the individual lodging details. So again, very much journey-based. However your guest wants to look at this data as part of their booking process, we facilitate and allow them to do that. I also want to touch on the map for just another moment. This map is customized for this particular client. It can be color-coded. We can make sure that the chairlifts are showing, that ski runs are showing, as well as the relative position of all the properties. And we get that from the latitude and longitude that Inntopia provides. So we can zoom in, we can zoom out. We can also change the view so they can see the lay of the land, so to speak, while they're in the booking flow. Again, fully integrated with how the guest wants to view the data.
We got a question is whether you guys have the capability, and I don't know this answer, so I definitely want to know. Is there any business rules or business rules engine that would allow certain items to be constrained based on the first item you select? And I don't know if you've gone through that scenario at all, but the example here is some of our partners out there might say, you know, if I choose golf, I have to have a certain night stay to go with it, right? Some of those premier golf destinations, you know, the golf is dependent on being someone that stays there. Is that something that you guys have thought about, or anything that you've considered or done?
Yeah, generally speaking, those business rules would come via the Inntopia bundles. So on the Inntopia backend, that supplier or those suppliers, if there's more than one, for your example, the golf course and a particular hotel, let's say the Mountain Inn from the screen we're all looking at right now, if Mountain Inn and Killington Golf wanted to do a bundle or a package together, they could build that in the Inntopia backend. And then only when someone selected the Mountain Inn would they see that golf option, or perhaps it's a discount. If they started on the other end of that process where they selected the golf product first, they would then see the option of bundling in the Mountain Inn lodging. So we can start with either of the two products in that given example.
Maybe one other thing I would add on to that, it's sort of related to it, but I think, in this instance, the guest has pre-selected lodging and golf, right? But it could very easily be lift tickets and rentals and all kinds of other things. So our mentality is that no matter which way you come in and which product you start with, we're going to assume you need all of the elements that the client wants to put forward as part of your entire vacation. So let's say you would come in through lift tickets, right? You might start with lift tickets. These tabs on the top then are going to switch to, okay, here's the other elements of the journey. We're going to want you to walk you through step by step until you're done with your vacation planning. In this instance, it was lodging then golf, but it very much would be responsive and adapt to ensure no matter which way you come in, there's still these 5 or 6 other elements we want you to complete before you finish your journey.
That's a great point, Kieran. Thank you. That's the assumptive upsell that you were referring to earlier. In fact, we have an example. If I can go into one of the rooms here and show you that screen. Again, the focus is on the visual. We can show all of the photos for this given supplier. All this data is coming from Inntopia. So whatever pictures are loaded there, we can scroll down and look at the rooms. We can change how we're sorting them out. We can show only the units that have special offers associated with them. Again, the price slider is applicable at the property level as well as across the resort. We can try and see specific offers. But for the sake of this demo, and because of that earlier question, let's take a look at the Stay and Play Golf in Killington. We can see some of the details of the promotion. We can see the description. We can see the package components. If you had special policies or payment schedules in place, either deposit or cancellation, those will show here. So I know for some resort businesses, for special price discounts, you have to pay the amount of the stay all at once. If you did that, those written policies would show there, and the rules will be applied during checkout. View options brings up our package builder. And again, this is the package that includes lodging and golf. Because lodging is required in this package, it is selected by default. Same dates that I already searched for. And it's showing the discounted price right here on the package builder screen. Because golf is an optional product in the promo, they can add or remove it. And as I add and remove it, you'll notice that the pricing down at the bottom is updating dynamically. If there were more than one golf product here, it would show in the drop-down menu. In the case of this promo, there's just this one. I can also choose the dates that I want to play. So I may want to play 2 days. For the next instance, I can choose the next date. And now I realize, oh, I'm coming with someone else, so they may want to play with me on those dates. No, they changed their mind. They only want to play one of those dates. This package builder UI is fully dynamic. And we can build and customize this package as a guest. Again, the idea is the journey. So they can update their journey as they want. And then when they're done building their package, add it all to the cart. The cart will populate with those products. The cart is also always visible up in the upper right. You'll notice that we already have an itinerary number from the Inntopia backend. As soon as any of your guests add one product to their cart, we reach back to the Inntopia API and get an itinerary number so that from this point forward, any of the guest activities are going to be bound and tied to that itinerary number. What that means for all of you is that if for any reason the guest is intentionally or unintentionally disconnected from the internet, they can simply use that itinerary number and the 800 number that's up, always showing up in the upper right corner, and they can reach out to your call center, give them that itinerary number, and continue with the booking flow using the Inntopia CRS. So it's an easy transition from e-com to CRS, regardless of where they are in the customer journey. We can also see some of the other aspects of the property on their page, location, any amenities that you have listed from the Inntopia backend, as well as all the associated policies. Check in, check out if you had a pets policy, any other specific stuff. COVID is obviously in here. So going back to the journey philosophy, I can just hit continue in the upper right, and it takes me to the next product category, which in this case is golf. And I wanted to make sure that I showed everyone golf because we've built some special parts of our UI for golf. And that is we can show individual tee times. These are separate products in the Inntopia backend. So if 18 holes, including cart, was an 8 a.m. tee time, you would have a second product for 9 a.m. and maybe another for 10 a.m., 11 a.m., et cetera, et cetera. Each of those products will show here in a grid view. And they will be responsive based on the availability for those times that you have loaded in the Inntopia backend. So I could add another instance of golf as I just did, and it automatically adds it to the cart for me. And there's the second instance of it. Again, all the pricing's updated. And if there were other product categories here, I could continue the guest journey and say, oh, now I want to look at products X, Y, and Z. Or I can move into checkout. So again, I see the itinerary number. Any products that were added after the itinerary has been created have already been communicated back to Inntopia, including the latest golf product, the processing fee, everything. If for any reason someone gets here and then decides they want to look at some other products, they can also, as part of the assumptive upsell, go back into those categories and look at them. Or they can continue into the checkout flow. So the beginning of the checkout flow are the customer requirements. Any products that are built in Inntopia that include customer requirements will show here. And when someone clicks on any of the products, it will show the respective requirement for them. If they try and save and continue without it, they'll get a clear indication that they need to fill these in. That means that on the back end, you set these customer requirements to be required, not optional. When they update it, again, you can see clearly the status changes to green. So clear visual cues that make it easy for the guest to know what's next and to know how to complete the task. Everything is done. Now the save and continue button is activated. I can continue with the checkout process. So I already preloaded most of this information. Step 2, we combine address and payment into one screen, but still very simple. This is the last step of checkout. At this point, the guest has one final chance to review everything that's in their cart. They can click on the modify link to make changes to it. They hit confirm purchase at this point, they're done. Obviously, I'm not going to complete this purchase because Killington's a long drive from Western Colorado.
Well, don't have a question about the checkout flow. It's more back to the purchase flow. Got a question about whether you guys could almost hard code the pathway. And I know that, with the packaging, it's sort of designed to the pathway, but say a partner had a very specific flow that they wanted people to go through. They wanted to look at rooms, then golf, then spa, would you guys with your system be able to almost walk them through that pathway?
Absolutely. We can choose the categories that appear at the top. We can choose the order they appear in, and we can also select whether or not they're activated by default.
One additional comment I would add in here, and Elsa and Derek said at the beginning, but I just wanted to reemphasize it. Obviously, as we were looking at that demo, the URL in the top was, a demo link. This entire process that we just walked through is happening entirely on the resort's domain, right? So there is no, we're big believers in, as you're researching the brand and you're going through the product flow and you're going to purchase, all of that 100% is contained within your domain. So you never actually leave the website experience. I think as we all know, right, once you actually sort of pop out and go to another place to purchase, there's drop off and lacks in continuity and analytics and things like that. So everything is 100% contained within the resort domain.
One of the other key differentiators for AZDS is that all of this booking flow that we have shown you here today actually lives, to Kieran's point, on your domain. There are no more subdomains. There's no book.yourdomain.com, no shop. None of that sort of bifurcation of the Google Analytics and GTM. Everything flows into one funnel from your www site all the way through the booking process to conclusion. So no longer will you have to try and merge and integrate the data from the different subdomains together. One other aspect of that that I think is important, particularly for smaller businesses that don't have a significant embedded IT or web dev team, is the integration of our sales channel does not involve, because of no subdomains, there is no requirement to make any changes to your DNS. It's less than 20 lines of JavaScript, and we provide it to you, and it's specific to your account. And that JavaScript gets put in your HTML code right before the closing body tag. And I had a screenshot of it, but unfortunately I can't find it right now. So I apologize for that. But it's a very simple deployment. You take this JavaScript, you put it on the homepage of your www site, right above the closing body tag, and you're done. And we work with you to customize how that JavaScript needs to function. In other words, if you had a book now button at the top right-hand corner of the header of your homepage, that would go into our step one that I showed you earlier. If you also have a search widget, maybe below the header as is the traditional location, we can integrate that as well with that less than 20 lines of JavaScript. If you want to show specific properties from the widget, we can integrate that as well. A lot of customization is available to you without the overhead and the IT/web dev burden that a lot of you have probably experienced with similar integrations in the past. One other thing I wanted to show you all briefly is this is our back-end admin portal, and this gets back to the question of, can we customize the layout of the individual product categories? We can. Right here on the right-hand side of the screen under modules, you see lodging, lift tickets, equipment rentals. Those are what show across the top of the buying experience. And the pre-selected are the ones that are chosen by default. And if I change this order under the available grouping, it will change the order they appear in there. One other thing I wanted to show everyone, this is some of the ways, not all of them, but these are some of the ways we can customize your online booking experience. Lots of color customization based on your branding. We can add custom CSS as needed. Custom logos, loader image, we can update the background images. And if I made a change to any of these settings and hit the update button at the bottom, those changes would appear online in production in 15 minutes or less. So no significant time delays. We can make changes for you very quickly and make sure that they roll out across wherever your content is hosted in 15 minutes or less.
We got a quick question here. Not necessarily specifically on the back end, more about you guys in general. and I know, Kieran, you sort of talked about this at the beginning. The example you're giving is Killington, but would this work for one of the Inntopia partners that has, multiple destinations under their website, tour operator model, or maybe even certain DMO models where they want to show specific things? How could your booking engine potentially work for someone that's, selling something in Vermont and in New York and in Colorado? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I can take that one. I think ultimately this solution, RevRaise. So one, let me maybe take a step backwards. This custom booking engine solution is one that we've got already 500 partners around the world on 6 continents already taking place and using this. I think what we've done is gone and expanded beyond primarily just lodging and hospitality to be all the different elements of a vacation experience. So really it's whether you're a hotel that wants to sell multiple other products or you're a resort that has multiple products. We do have a ton of partners that have multiple locations. So I think the quick and down and dirty answer is yes, absolutely. It's really anybody that wants to work with Inntopia and then partner with us. If you sell multiple elements involved in a purchasing experience, this solution can work for you, and we can customize it to you no matter what the level of complexity is in number of products or number of locations.
Yeah, and to just add to what Kieran just mentioned, we can do it as what we traditionally call a chain level booking engine or chain level BE, where it would all be one brand but multiple facilities. So we currently do it for Montage and Pendry, where you can just go to one page and pick a specific location, and then we drop you into the booking engine based on the location selection. We can do on the Inntopia side, we can do that on a channel basis. We could also, in theory, do it on a supplier basis. So if you're a tour operator and you work with multiple specific suppliers, but they're all loaded into one channel, we have the ability to filter the search results based on which particular property they choose that you are selling. And we can use the map view as well. If you're a tour operator and you have contracts with a number of different resorts across North America, we could simply publish them all in that map that I showed you earlier and just zoom it out so that they all show on that half of the screen. Truth be told, there are, I don't want to say infinite, but there are a significant number of customizations that we can make to the front end based on your business needs. It's really just a matter of you telling us what you want / need us to build. And we've got the tools in place to build those customizations for you. So if nobody else, or rather if there are no other questions, I just wanted to give you all a view of how we can present winter products as well. Fortunately, the Aspen Snowmass team has recently activated their winter products, so I'd like to show them to you. So as you saw in the prior screen, lodging, lift tickets, rentals, lessons, all showing across the top. The map is a little more zoomed out, as I just noted, because it's a larger resort. All the popover functionality is still there. I'll skip the lodging piece for this and make sure that I show you all the lift tickets. Key factor here, because a lot of these resorts have a lot of products in your winter categories, is we can break them down by type. We can do multiples. And all of these lists are being updated dynamically on the front end. No additional calls back to Inntopia, no delays. We're caching the data, we have it ready to go, and as soon as these selections are made, the screen is updating dynamically. We can do the same thing within rentals. Again, all the products are updating dynamically based on my selections. We can also expand and contract different dates for certain product types. So right now we've chosen to do that for lessons. Makes it easy to find the date that's applicable for your use and then show the products. And now I see all the applicable products for that. Again, everything is dynamic. Everything is preloaded on the back end, as you see from the numerous selections I just made and changed. All these screens are updating very quickly.
Not specifically a question about that. This isn't from anyone out there. This is more from my side. You mentioned caching and speed. Is that something that you guys? I know that you use it in your RevRaise product for a lot of your hospitality clients. But is that something is there a lesson learned there?
We cache the more static data, descriptions, the static content that is loaded into RMS, images, stuff like that. We're going to be caching that once per day for all of our clients on the Inntopia platform once they're in production. In terms of inventory and rates, we're still working on the frequency that we're going to be caching that. And the challenge there is that there's a burden on our backend systems. There's also a burden on Inntopia's, and we want to make sure that we're not overwhelming their system or our own. So that's still a moving target. But the simple answer is we will absolutely be caching as much of this data as possible, as frequently as possible. And I can say for certainty from our existing RevRaise customers, we are caching inventory and rates hourly. And again, the static data gets updated daily. And if for any reason any of those clients makes an update midday, they change the name of a product or they make some other iteration on the products themselves, new pictures, what have you, they can reach out to us and we can do a manual pull and have everything updated in less than 5 minutes. That's the commitment that we've made to them.
Yeah. Quick question about this screen, and it's just about whether you can have photos for non-lodging products as well, which I know the answer.
We actually do. That is currently in QA and should be deployed by the end of next week. Yeah, they will show off to the left-hand side of where it says adult 18 plus max 5 lesson. You will see an image over to the left of it. I was hoping to have it deployed in time for our demo today, but unfortunately it is still in QA. What I wanted to mention last to everybody is some of the stuff that we're working on that's on our roadmap. This Inntopia integration to our RevRaise platform, we are making updates to this, I would say every 24 to 48 hours. We are deploying new features. Stuff is migrating from QA and merging into our code base. So some of the stuff that's on our roadmap, we're working on calendar views, similar to Inntopia's yield view calendar, but with some of the specialization that you've seen on the other screens from AZDS. We're going to make it look great, we're going to make it load super fast, and we're going to make it convert better. That's kind of our goal for everything. So we're working on calendar views for lodging, calendar views for all non-lodging products as well. We also have in place language translation. So if you're an international tour operator and you're based out of Brazil and you have a lot of your clients speak Portuguese or Spanish or any other language, we can translate those and build them into the booking engine. And there'll be a small flag in the upper right that lets them make a language selection. And then that language change will flow through the rest of the booking process for them. Relating to that, we're working on currency conversion. So we don't have that ready to go now, but it should be ready to go, I would say, by the end of July. And once someone makes that language change, they will also be able to change the currency, and all of the pricing will be updated dynamically throughout the rest of the booking flow. We're also working on landing pages for promotions. So if you're a resort and you have a resort-wide promo, we want to create some landing pages for that so that your marketing team can embed an actionable URL right into the message in the outreach that you are providing to your guests. And that should be deployed in the next, I would say, 4 weeks or less.
So I think ultimately, Chris, the solution is really about taking the customer through an intuitive booking journey, making it easier for the guest to book and convert, resulting in less cart abandonment and an increased average order value through this assumptive upsell process that we have through that navigation tool. They can add all the elements of their vacation in one shopping cart, in one easy transaction. You know, it's 3 quick steps, and all the options are laid out for them in the booking path. It's clean, it's streamlined, it's device responsive, and it's designed to make an intuitive experience, whether they're on desktop, tablet, or mobile. We do have a deck that we can share with the group after the call, and we'd welcome the opportunity to have individual calls with any partners interested in the solution. With your Inntopia channel ID for eCom, we can create a real-time demo for your specific account. It takes us about 30 minutes to spin that up, and then we can get on a call and really walk through that booking flow with each individual client. So just let us know, whoever is interested. We'd be happy to spend some time with everyone individually. And the deck that we send will include my contact information. So feel free to reach out to me, and we can schedule follow-up calls with the group.
I think we had a couple people on the call that might not have Inntopia accounts, which is fine. We can always spin up a demo on the Inntopia side that these guys can also pull in and spin up for you. So we're happy to do that from a Inntopia side as well. I was hoping you guys, like I know a little bit about, because we've talked, I know about some of your processes and things, but I'd love if you could just speak quickly to our crowd about, I don't know, I guess how you iterate, how you learn from, the bookings that are coming in, conversions, and, advance your product to the next stage.
I can maybe speak to it from a global perspective, but then the rest of the gang chime in. I mean, I think we've got the power and the benefit to be able to optimize, given that we've got this software as a solution platform. We've got multiple people around the world, multiple clients working on it right now. So a lot of what we do and look at is, one, what are the different steps? And thanks to our analytics, we can look at all the different steps throughout the customer journey and the booking flow. See across all of our properties to understand where there are breaks in the chain, where there is for optimization. We can benchmark one specific partner against the aggregate, et cetera, or their comp set, if they're in the same type of setup. So I think we're continually optimizing. We're doing releases very frequently. We're always sending out communications to our partners of, did you know you can do this? And did you know you can take advantage of this new functionality? Because one of our partners brought it up somewhere and we thought that would benefit the whole. So I think we view it as a living, breathing, always optimizing environment in which we would learn from across all of our different partners, and then all of our partners conversely get the opportunity to stand on the shoulders of the optimizations we make. So we've got a analytics and business intelligence department that is continually looking at what are our look to books, what are our conversion rates, what are the average purchase values in every step of the way, so that we can see across the aggregate and learn from it.
Yeah, the only things I would add to what Karen said is we have a dedicated staff of more than 20 developers who work very hard to make changes as quickly and 100% correctly as possible. We've also, to Kieran's point, we've got analytics and BI people, we've got WordPress people, we've got email people. We're a full service firm. So we have touch points across the spectrum of what your guests are doing. It's not just a booking engine with us. We can actually facilitate a lot of adjacent areas of your business and help you there. And that gives us insight into all of those aspects. And we use those to influence our design decisions as we are building out this platform.